Joining me now with more, Governor Mike Huckabee, former presidential candidate and Fox News contributor, and Julie Roginsky, Democratic strategist and Fox News contributor. So we're no longer going to prosecute Hillary Clinton. We're reversing our position on the climate change agreement. We are no longer going to torture or waterboard, which he said at virtually all these campaign stops and in many debates, Governor. Just like how many campaign promises is that before he's even been sworn in?
Oh, I don't know. And sometimes I'm not sure whether Donald Trump is humoring the New York Times, who has never been polite to him, never been fair or balanced with him in any way. We'll see. I mean, I think Donald Trump is doing a lot of things right now to, give some good optics, and I think we'll wait till he takes the oath of office. But I do believe this, Megyn, if he fundamentally changes the major positions that he campaigned on, and the reason that 60 million people went and voted for him, I think it'll be a real rocky start, because there are expectations.
You do?
I do, yeah, because look, nobody at the New York Times wants or believes Donald Trump will be a good president. Nobody at the Washington Compost believes that either. But there are millions of Americans who tore their shirts for Donald Trump and went out there and got him elected.
Yeah.
If he were to make major changes in his positions,
during the course
it
of the
would be
campaign,
disaster.
and they never held it against him. They believe in the man, if not the mission. Julie, I want to ask you about Jared Kushner, who, is really sort of the, with respect to him, boy wonder, of the campaign. He's a business guy, Ivanka's husband, who really helped get Donald Trump elected as the president. And his business credentials are really impressive. However, Mr. Trump is making news today by saying that Jared Kushner could help make peace between the Israelis and the Palestinians, and pushing, according to NBC News, to get him a top-secret clearance so that he can be privy to the presidential daily brief despite not being an official member of the White House and the cabinet. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it betrays an incredible lack of seriousness and a commitment to what needs to be done with foreign policy. Look, with Jared Kushner, I guess what his qualifications are in Donald Trump's mind is he's Jewish, he's been to Israel a bunch of times. Me too. I mean, there's a lot of us like that, but it doesn't mean that I'm qualified to be Dennis Ross or Henry Kissinger or George Mitchell or any of the people who are very serious diplomats who've tried to bring peace to the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. And to say that Jared Kushner, whose only qualification from what I can tell are that he married into the Trump family, is somebody that can take on this very onerous responsibility, which has ramifications not just for the Middle East, but really for our foreign policy across the world, outside the Middle East, in addition to the Middle East, is laughable. And so for anybody to believe that he has any qualifications short of his religion and potentially having traveled, as a lot of people have in Israel, is not a serious analysis of what needs to be done.
Well, what do you make
really
of it,
serious.
Governor? Because he's a smart man. He's very loyal to Mr. Trump. He helped get him elected. Is it more of a spokesperson type position where he would just be relaying the messages of the administration and familiarity with the issues is required, but being a true diplomat may not be? You tell me.
Well, look, I don't think anybody expects Jared Kushner or anybody else who's going to go and resolve this, because if you really want to know, this goes back to Isaac and Ishmael. It doesn't have a start
there may be
50 years
to
ago,
Jared's
70
gifts.
years ago. Well, look, and here's what I want to just be very clear about. There's going to be no peace in the Palestinian-Israeli conflict until at first the Palestinians get serious about it and they quit telling the school children that it's a good thing to murder Jews. This has been going on since the beginning. They had a chance in 1995 when Ehud Barak almost gave away 95% of Judea and Samaria, and Arafat rejected the whole thing.
It's a tall bar.
They don't want peace.
It's a tall bar. I got to ask you this quickly before I let you go, Julie. On the First Amendment and Trump's commitment to it, because he's obviously had not the most respectful relationship with the press. He said to the New York Times, I think you'll be happy with respect to his First Amendment commitment. It's funny because Trump, when he wants to charm you, he can do it. But the problem is the press is going to hit him. They're going to hit him right between the eyes. And they're not going to be happy, and he's not going to be happy with them. It's just not the nature of media covering a president. Your thoughts?
Look, I mean, the media has to do their job with that fear or favor, and so if somebody says they're going to open up, loosen libel laws, as Donald Trump said throughout the campaign.
That's another one he just walked back.
Yeah, he just walk. Listen, he'll walk it forward again tomorrow. That's the problem. You don't know where he stands. You know, we can have daily, if not hourly, conversations about whiplash and what he says at any given time and any given issue. If he walked it back, I'm happy to hear it. If he consistently, for the next 4 years, decides that he's not going to pursue it, that's fantastic. But he cannot lash out at the New York Times, the Washington Post, Fox News, or anybody else when any of us say something he doesn't like. That's the reality of a free press.
It was interesting because he said, if you guys see something where you feel I'm wrong, I'd love to hear it. You can call me. Arthur Sulzberger Jr., you can call me. But, of course, this is not how it works. Like, they're going to call. He's going to blow them off. They're going to write pieces that he doesn't like. And I guarantee right here tonight that the New York Times will not be happy, and Donald Trump will not be happy. No one will be happy because media coverage of a president is usually not happy. I got to go.
Megyn.
Go ahead.
One quick thing. We're talking about the credibility of Donald Trump. We need to be talking about the credibility of the New York Times, which doesn't have any.
We've had that discussion.
They don't have any.
Great to see you both.
None.